Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Q and today we are playing The Silence Under Your Bed. Found this game on itch.io, as you can see. I cannot make this game full screen for some reason. It just is not working for me. I can't. I just can't. Hopefully once I'm in the game, maybe I can get it to work. But this game is currently it is interactive horror of like a dozen different horror stories. It looks pretty interesting. Currently the sound, artwork was all done, and it has pretty good reviews on it, and I wanted to give it a try. So let's go ahead and get into this and have some fun. Some night, somewhere. Adian, this is where I draw the line. Those slimy things ruin meals. Fungus, that's the word. I refuse to eat actual fungus. Somebody's talking about mushrooms? No, mushrooms, got it. What if we do half and half? Just order the pizza, please. Yeah, let's do half and half. They get baked into the cheese. Landmines. Shit. Pizza Paradise doesn't do online orders. I have to call them. Oh, yeah, I understand that. I love online ordering. It's the best. Lynn, oh no. You got this? Shh, they picked up. Hi, yes, I would like one pizza. What kind? Oh, any kind. Yes, any pizza. Thank you. You too. It'll be here in an hour. You didn't even tell him what you wanted. Oh, any pizza. Oh, that's dangerous. Could have gone worse. Pumped to eat any pizza. Did you give them our address? Same, pal. What now? You know, it's spooky out. Wanna tell scary stories? Oh, you know it. You? Obviously. What'll it be? Adrian Frame Force 5170, Toad to Ruin, Cold Hands. Oh, jeez, Chris. Let's do Cold Hands. I wish I could make this full screen. It sucks that I can't. I'm sorry. I know this is probably all distracting in the background, but... Oh, Cold Hands. There we go. Tell me if you haven't heard this one. Oh, there we go. There's a long road somewhere. A little motel. Nice place. Clean carpets. Cheerful wallpaper. A pool that isn't miles of sickly green algae. And a clerk who smiles. They're nice here. Small town compassion in that way that makes folks sneer. Makes them cite incest. And ill intent because there's no way, no chance, that it might be sincere. Anyway. There was this kid once, and he came to stay in this motel. Not alone, of course. His mother, with the frizzy red curls, all natural Scottish autumnal fire. His father, pot-bellied and speeding down a midlife crisis so quick you can hear his hairline fray. His sister, their tub of plastic dinosaurs. They all came along too. It was a family vacation, I was told. One of the road trips to Disney, with Mom packing sandwiches, everyone singing ABBA on the way there. Not that the destination matters. What matters is the kid stayed in this motel. And he had a room with his sister that he had all his toys. The dinosaurs in diorama, streetlights blinking wetly through the blinds, a patter of rain outside. It was a night, I was told. No one to tell this kid to go to sleep, or tell him he had school the next day. He could play all night if he wanted to. So he did. I want you to picture this. I want you to picture a curl of jazz coming out from outside, and a nice little room softly tiger-striped in gold, and a kid sitting cross-legged on the carpet with his dinosaurs rehearsing Macbeth. Cars flit past along the highway outside. Trucks, too, slumping shadows through the blinds, the silhouettes like the end times. The kid doesn't pay attention, of course. He's into his dinosaurs. He doesn't notice the trucks. He doesn't pay attention to the horns. The zoo trope of light, dark, corn syrup light. He doesn't notice anything at all, not even the white hand that unrolls from under his bed. A little kid's hands with no kid attached. Nothing but arm that goes on and on like a white highway. It reaches around the bend of his knee, and as the kid reaches to pick up his favorite dinosaur, a stegosaurus with a stomach soaked in stars, it takes his hand, fingers fitting between his fingers, one set so much warmer than the other. The kid looks down. He squeezes the hand twined with his. They stay like this for a while. I want to believe that they had a conversation, talked about life, what's popular on TV these days. Nice things like that. It only seems right. Whatever the other thing was, it was probably lonely. Had to be lonely if it reached out a hand like that. If it went through all that trouble to lace its fingers with the kid's and sit there until the sun sloped, syrup gold, onto the room again. The kid went away the next day. He had to. At that age, you don't get to say as to whether you want to spend a few more nights in a motel, especially not a motel that your sister and your parents were certain was haunted by things worse than ghosts. None of them discussed, of course, why they had not slept that night, had only lain there with their eyes on the ceiling, trying the whole while not to think about the cold fingers tugging on their duvet, reaching for their hands, desperate. The family checked out at noon under a sky blistered white by the sun, their bellies heavy with pancakes and bacon, low-fat yogurt, and cheap breakfast sausages. They got into their car and drove away, trying to forget the forest of white hands reaching up from the dark. All of them except for the kid, of course. He held onto his new friend's hands the whole way home. Freaky! Ah, those hands only wanted friends. But they have bacteria, like probably the worst bacteria. Hey, since we're telling stories, should we turn down the music? What? No, it's Kavit. Is it? I don't know what that is. Alright. What next? I'm ready. The Bonesworth? Jingle jingle. Organizing conferences people enjoy. Locations for conferences. Locations in Knuckle Ridge for conferences. Best food. Knuckle Ridge. Best ramen. Catering services. Do I have to pick one of these? Secure Wi-Fi passwords. Secure Wi-Fi password finder. Knuckle Ridge treat Wi-Fi free. Have to get free Wi-Fi. Dating in Knuckle Ridge. Friendship in Knuckle Ridge. How to trigger fire alarm. That's a drastic change right there. Knuckle Ridge nightlife. Restaurants open late. Top 10 late night restaurants. Knuckle Ridge. Symptoms of food poisoning. Food poisoning, how fast? Auditory hallucinations. Shapes and static. Pareidolia. Sleep techniques. Getting sleep after food poisoning. How to minimize nausea. How to make friends as adults. That's an accurate thing right there, isn't it? How to do small talk. Also very accurate. Bonesworth. How to stay alert. How to tell if a woman is interested. How to flirt. Bonesworth. How to make the first move. Easy exercises to get fit. How to gain self-confidence. Traits of attractive people. How to keep shapes away. Bonesworth, keep away. Can someone hack your phone? Local pranks. What is Bonesworth? Keep away. What is Bonesworth keep away? Famous serial killers. Murders in Knuckle Ridge. Karmic payback. What is Bonesworth? Bonesworth keep away. How do you play? Ooh, that was a weird noise. Can you die from too little sleep? Sleep deprivation. When does sleep deprivation become serious? Bonesworth keep away 3 players. Techniques on being assertive. Deleting search history. Natural sedatives. OTC tranquilizers. Good places for meetings in Knuckle Ridge. History of Bonesworth in Knuckle Ridge. History of Bonesworth in Knuckle Ridge. Oh, we searched that twice. Bonesworth, keep away, come quietly. Keep away. Keep away. Keep away, keep away, keep away. Oh, freaky. How to summon Bonesworth. How to recognize Bonesworth. How to play. How to keep away. Oh, that was freaky, and I didn't even know what was going on. That was still freaky. So does Bonesworth use social media? It doesn't actually use a phone. The phone... Never mind. I think I get it. Bonesworth, Bonesworth, Bonesworth. No more Frankenstein stories. I'm done with found objects. This is the weirdest conversation ever. Necromancer blues? Meh, boy. Let's not go Necromancer blues. That seems interesting. Don't go out into the woods. There are girls in those woods, strung up in the trees, buried in the roots, dead on the road, dead by the freeway with their thumbs still pointing home. Girls who deserve better, girls who could have had better except fate is a fucking sheep. Don't go out in the woods, baby. You know what you'll find. Okay, this is beautiful. You roll that corpse over, you move that body, sister. Heave it high on your shoulder, a little more, and then it's over. Music's kind of beautiful. They say there's a god in the woods. You roll that corpse over. You say that she is a young girl. Oh my god, I don't even know what to read. The girl with a smile like a cut, with eyes like the light of home at the end of the road. They say she is older than she looks, older than she should be. And baby, you don't want to see her. What did they pay? Yeah, okay. I don't know. Oh, this is the song. For the bones they broke. Girls in the woods don't sleep easy. They dream of what could have been. Thoughts. And walking down the aisle. White lace and not white snow. Roads that go somewhere. Roads that go home. And somewhere the god listens. Make no mistake. There's sympathy was fading as you lay in that lake. Not a hard thought to ache. You roll that corpse over. You move that body, sister. Come alive, come alive, come alive. Don't go into the woods, baby. Take their bones, they don't deserve it. Take their skin, they don't need it. Stitch a life from what they've done and go and find the sun. The gods of these girls has come to take them home. Don't go into the woods, baby. They know what you've done. Don't go into the woods, baby. They know what you've done. You roll that corpse over. You move that body, sister. Come alive, come alive, come alive. You roll that corpse over. You move that body, sister. Come alive, come alive, come That was interesting. Huh. I'm going to have that stuck in my head now. Accurate. You move that body. Don't go into the woods. Didn't we order a pizza? Yeah, I did, I think. That was 2 hours ago. Whatever, more stories. These are really interesting, but it's not what I expected. But it's definitely interesting. Interesting. See the rock sliders. You run a mill file across a dull saw. A couple passes up and down, getting the tooth line nice and level. Charles, that insufferable louse, he never touches this kind of work. He's back at the cabin, surely, kicking his feet up and failing to read a magazine. The row of teeth lies uniformly even. You sharpen the edges, just enough to maintain height. Scars cover your hand from past mistakes here. Lost your grip, but on the saw. Of course, Charles' hands are pristine, free of cuts and calluses. And there he is, right on time, when the work's half done. He pulls up his slack pants and rests hands on his belt, pushing them back down. If you'd done this back at the cabin, I would have helped you, buddy. Buddy. The word makes you want to spit. You are not buddies. You slip the handle loop over the saw blade and twist to tighten. Then I, Charles, who breaks the intentional silence. You need some help there? Need some help? It's a two-person saw, asshole. You think that, but don't say it, because Charles has thin skin. He'd huff about it for weeks. Charles freezes and pops a hand behind an ear, giving himself the appearance of a baby elephant. What on earth? You hear that? You'd hear that. Some commotion up the mountain, like a landslide. But eastward, you remember, too. If it were a landslide, you'd be dead. Must be one of them. Charles spits, as if summoning the word from his mouth. Slide rock bolters. Bullcog. Charles talks about slide rock bolters like he's by a campfire. But it's only scary story he knows, and it's not even scary. It's ridiculous. You're both grown men. Some great beast slides down from them a mountain like a fish and gobbles up the folks in its path. Nonsense. You set the saw with a hammer and ready it on a tree. You and Charles goes back and forth, pushing and pulling, a familiar motion. But Charles messes up the timing, pulling before you begin to push. The saw wobbles and pops off the tree, nearly knocking you over. Easy there, buddy. Almost took your own eye out. It was his fault, and the saw didn't get anywhere near your eyes. You've had enough of this cad. You roll up your sleeves. Oh, easy now. I forgive you, buddy. You put your hands on Charles' shirt collar. Up the mountain, that same distant rumbling comes down. Closer this time. Charles opens his mouth. You'll know he'll mention those damn monsters. You punch him in the teeth. Blood pools in his mouth. His eyes look hurt, confused, even a little scared. You wanted to do this for a long time. Oh, I missed it. You. I don't know what that last word was, but I feel like they deserved that. Still, I would have destroyed both of them in a fight. No one likes lumberjacks. No one likes old-timey dudes. I don't know. No one likes lumberjacks. Your parents told you stories, right? Really bad ones. Right. The ones with lessons. So we wouldn't lose the remote or whatever. Let's do one of those. Eat your peas. It'll get stuck that way. Ah, Moz rules get stuck that way. I remember being told that as a kid. There was once a little boy who would pop his neck. Oh, I hate it when people do that. Oh, that just makes me cringe. God. Every time he stretched his neck out to the side, out came a loud crack. The little boy's mom said he inherited this from Grandpa. Skipped a whole generation. The boy loved to do it. While eating, watching cartoons, or playing games, he'd idly stretch his neck out. Crack. 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 When Mom got tired of the sound, she'd tell the boy, you keep doing that, it'll get stuck that way. At first, this scared the boy. He'd had nightmares about his neck stretching out, impossibly long, the weight of his head bending back on itself in a loop, all the while going crack, crack, crack. But like anything a parent says over and over, it started to lose its power. The boy merrily cracked away, rolling his eyes whenever Mom told him, It'll get stuck that way. One day, Mom told the boy they were going to visit Grandpa. Now, he hadn't seen Grandpa in years. The last time was when he was a toddler, and the memories were faded. At Grandpa's house, the boy rapped on the door. Knock. 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 The boy heard motion on the other side of the door, followed by the sound of a knocking, the doorknob turning, the door creaking open. Whoa, Grandpa. Why? Come on in. Ain't seen you since you were knee-high. Well, that was interesting. What? Grandpa seemed friendly. He's a great dude. Takes a while for the Werthers to slide down, but he's a great dude. Hey, Aiden? Yep, I gotta get this off my chest. You know that word you love? Kvilt? The best word? Yeah? You always say it like Kvilt, but it's just cult with weird letters. You've pronounced it wrong for years. I looked it up. I'm so sorry. I say that word 10 times an hour. Damn, dude. The longer I kept it from you, the worse I felt. It's a lie that festered for years. Was that the doorbell? Pizza! Oh, that's scary. Pizza? It's been hours. Why did the door just open? I have no idea. Time to leave, I think. Oh my goodness gracious. Hi! Did anyone order pizza? Okay. What? Oh, did we die? Interesting. I know the sound, the stories are definitely very cool. Yeah, let's restart. Let's not kill the two guys. Okay. Alright, so we're back. Let's go ahead. Last time we hit hold hands, let's go to frame 5170. I don't remember my dad's face. Spit an image of your old man. Aunts and uncles tell me at cookouts everyone says I look just like he did at my age. If I manage to break away from the conversation, I always try, they suck their teeth and train their eyes on me, observing me, until I make it to a bedroom. I hide there for hours sometimes. Let's see. I do remember his voice. Kind of. He never yelled at me. Not directly, but he yelled about me. I remember hiding behind chairs, pressing my ear against walls to hear the muted thunderstorms in adjacent rooms. My own special performance, a promise of what could come down. I hung on every word. Hiding under tables, under chairs. Oh, interesting. What would come down. Hung on. Okay. Well, that's kind of interesting. No one says I sound like my dad, though. They say I look like him, and I don't remember his face. My Uncle Jeff, he always describes my dad's nose. Oh, the bridge protruded out, beautiful, a Greek sculpture. And the tip, oh goodness, flat and turned up like a bat. No matter which portrait Jeff paints, he always reaches one conclusion. I sure do have my dad's nose. A Roman sculpture, a Greek sculpture, flat and turned up, curved down like a bird. What? I don't have any pictures of my dad's face. Before the accident, before he died, he scratched himself out of family photos. There's a picture of me when I was little, sitting in a plastic high chair, Ninja Turtle bib, chocolate cake smeared all over. Picture me as a toddler, opening a Christmas present, impatient with my reindeer-covered wrapping. Dad's in the background holding a beer can. His face a series of thick grooves, like a freshly tilled field. The album has 2 words engraved on the cover. Cherished moments. A freak accident. That's what his boss called it when my dad fell 40 feet to his death. And everyone's called it that since. Everyone says it kind of defensive. My mom thinks his boss blames himself, fears a lawsuit, and his side of the family doesn't talk about how he drank on the clock. I was 5. I didn't understand, mostly. Mom says I cried a lot, but if I did, I wasn't sure about his death. Didn't take much time for the rumors to start. She took him for granted. She nagged him to death. My grandma said at the funeral, no one would look at my mom. She wandered the small Baptist church like a ghost. A week before the accident, I prayed for my dad to leave, to vanish. Oh goodness. I knelt beside the bed with my hands cupped, like I never do, and promised I wouldn't ask for anything else in my life. Please, Lord, take him away. Amen. There's still one record of my dad's face, a home video. I watch it every week, after his cold eyes, crooked teeth, have slipped from my memories. Mom labeled the front with permanent marker, Motel Pool 4196. 2/22/90. Oh, the date's changing. Huh. The cassette's shell pristine, but the tape side is all cut up, like Dad ran it with it under a knife. He didn't get every frame, though. The small square pool of a Motel 6, located in rural Alabama, Minnesota, Colorado. Interesting. Smothered beneath scan lines. Mom holds the camera, the poolside director issuing commands from the vinyl creating memories. I'm an infant, held in Dad's arms. Static cuts Dad's head off at the neck, rolling up and down the television screen in waves. There's a part, though, after a bystander climbs out of the pool. Why did that sound? After Mom fumbles with the camera. After I start to kick in the water. Interesting. If I could choose where Dad's face is visual despite the damage done to the tape. Around that time, I began to pause the video every other second to make sure I catch the right frame. Frame 4110, Dad lowers my body to the water. Frame 4968, Dad gently drops me into the pool. Frame 5021, Dad turns his head to face the camera. Frame 5072, Dad sinks below the surface. Frame 5122, Dad's hands reappear on the edge of the pool. Static floods the screen. From off camera, strangers can be heard screaming. Oh God, this grace scared me. Oh God, Jesus Christ. VCR rewind. I jumped. After the tape wraps around the spool, I brought the cassette back to it in its paper sleeve. The record of a memory I've already forgotten. That made me jump! Also, I wish I had had more time to read it, but damn, that was good. VCR. Yeah, those old things at Goodwill. Before DVDs, ancient times. What do you call that monster? Dad? That's what tape, dude. That scared me. R.I.P. What is that? It's like a pop. Hey, since we're telling stories, should we turn down the music? What? No, it's cold, I guess. Just listen harder. Alright. What's next? I'm ready. So let's do the drowning ritual. Rituals. The drowning ritual. Players. 1 principal, 2 players. Requirements. A house with at least 2 stories and a landing dividing the stairs. A container large enough to contain a woman's body. Salt. Anise. A bladed object for each player, preferably something of personal value to its wielder. A timekeeping device. Cherry soda enough to drown the container. That's interesting. Her name was Annie, you assholes. Oh, damn. Clear the house of all living inhabitants, whether sapient or sentient in nature. You can use force, if necessary. The ritual doesn't need consent. Damn! Do not proceed unless the house is empty except for the participants. Crush the star anise, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, and mix the granules with salt. Dust the windows with the mixture you've made. Do not dust the doors. She doesn't like being trapped. You didn't ask her. You never asked her. Fuck you. It's see that. Wish I would last a little bit longer. Turn off the lights. Lights must stay off the entire ritual. If the lights are on, she won't come. Players need to make their way to the stairwell, on their hands, their knees, dragging shins along the carpet, or crab walking through the dark. It doesn't matter. They can do it however they will. At the stairwell, the principal must ascend to the landing. The principal must be in possession of the container and the cherry soda. The other players must position themselves either at the summit or the foot of the stairs. Once in place, the principal must then cut themselves with the blade and bleed onto the rope. The principal must say, "We're going to do this fairly, so come out one more time." The rope must be kept in the container. She'll come for you. Don't worry. The container must be filled with cherry soda. That's what she tasted like, you know. That's all you had to say. Fuck you. I wish that would last longer. I can't read it. The players must now wait. You see a hand rise from the sugared dark, broken at the wrist, snapped at the knuckle. This means the summoning was successful. You see a smile jut from the murk. Teeth first, skin and sinew running like mascara down the jaw. This means the summoning was unsuccessful. But that's okay. That's okay. That just means Annie has friends. She will now rise from the container. The principal can keep her distracted with more offerings of blood. No, if she completely extricates herself from the container, the game is over, and there is no good outcome. See ending the ritual. Annie. Her name was Annie. The players must now rush her with their weapons. If they cut her, she will retreat, but only for a moment. It won't work. You can try. It won't work. She'll bleed cherry soda like it was the blood of Christ, but that's all. You can't hurt her, and I don't remember what else. Didn't see what else it said. The objective is to continue this until dawn, or she speaks. Players should be careful of cherry soda spilling over the stairs. It doesn't matter. Players should be careful not to injure one another. It doesn't matter. Players should be careful not to injure the principal. It doesn't matter. If she says, "Your desire is mine," the principal can ask her to show the players the way to get their greatest joy. It's just a lie. Players can then climb into the container to their prize. It won't work. If she says, "You have to keep playing," the players and the principal now have two options. The first is to continue as before, but with the understanding that there will be additional challenges. There will be others, and they will want blood too. The second is to make a sacrifice of one of the three. The ritual ends if someone is killed. If a player was responsible for the death, the survivors must evacuate the stairwell quickly. Each player must then go to each window and run a finger along the trail of salt and star a niece. No, do not miss a single window. The player must declare loudly, "We are guiltless in this." The players must then try to leave. If she is feeling generous, they will be allowed to go. Just until you get home, just until the doors are locked, just until the windows down and the rooms in ink. Did I get treated? The ritual ends because she succeeded in freeing herself. One of the players must be killed. Otherwise, everyone dies. See above for following steps. The ritual ends with her saying the words, "Your desire is mine." Each player must enter the container in turn. The others cannot speak until a hand rises from the cherry soda to beckon for the next. Repeat until everyone has crossed over. It will be obvious what you need to do then. Interesting. I do wish on some things that they would let you have to, hit a button in order to keep going instead of just cutting it off. But that's just me. I've seen one of those websites. The ritual needed my mom's maiden name, and the street I grew up on. I think that's not. That's a scam, my friend. Sounds scary. You gave out that info? No. It also needed the name of my first boss, but all of my bosses have been apps. What? No more Frankenstein stories. I'm done with found objects. Let's go to the meh bowl. My dog's first words were meh bowl. Harold always barked weird. I used to upload videos to YouTube with titles like, "Dog sounds like a human. What the hell?" That got me a few dozen subscribers. Nothing major. Either he didn't stand out enough, or I'm not good with branding, or hell, both. So these words, I thought at the time, were not human words, but more of his strange sounds. Then he repeated himself, meh bull. His snout parted, his tongue folded and clicked, an awkward and desperate sound, similar to the squeak of old, wet shoes. I usually responded with playful talk. What was that, Harold? So wise. But in the moment it felt inappropriate, like an adult leaning down to talk to a teen. So I said nothing. He went back to grooming himself, and I wish I'd had my phone out, if not for the surely viral content, then to confirm what I had heard. When I met Harold, he was already 3. The shelter told me he lived on the street before landing there. He didn't socialize with other dogs, or bark at anyone passing, so he went unnoticed until the day I left him out of his cage. He crawled onto my lap and licked my face, eyes full of love, mouth full of slobber. I immediately called my landlord and filled out adoption papers. After that time Harold spoke, I kept my phone in hand with a camera app idle in the background. I asked him, Meh bull, Harold? What is meh bull? I put steak cubes in his food as a treat, or a bribe. He ate it up, but said nothing. I dismissed it as an isolated incident until weeks later. I arrived home from a late night at the hospital. I was tired and didn't bother to set an alarm. I fell asleep quick. So quick I didn't remember Harold climbing into bed with me. Somehow it was the pain that woke me up, but the sound. The sound, I thought, of Harold eating wet food, like chopped beef, or the spaghetti I sometimes shared with my own plate. I rubbed my eyes, and trying to clear my vision, but instead I smeared something onto my eyeball. Ew. Ew, I turned on my phone's flashlight, then saw blood on the screen, blood on my hand. Then in the bed I saw Harold, blood on his mouth. He licked his matted fur and barked the strange sound. Meh, bull. I must have hurt myself coming home from work. Harold must have been worried about me, trying to clean me up. Or maybe Harold is an animal, and I'm flesh. From then on, I slept with my door shut. I think it was around then that Harold started to change, not in demeanor, but appearance. Or maybe I couldn't see him the same, my suppressed fear emphasizing his animal features in my mind. Were Harold's eyes always so human? His teeth? I spent days searching dog anatomy, making uncomfortable calls to local veterinarians. Then I started taking videos. At first, the videos were only for comparison purposes. If Harold were changing quickly, not growing older over time, I thought videos would prove it. I ran out of space on my phone, then on my cloud accounts, so I started uploading the videos to YouTube. I didn't promote them. No tags, no custom thumbnails, no algorithm-friendly names, so I was surprised when people posted comments. That's not a dog, people said. Trolls, I thought, but then every comment was along the same lines. That's not a dog. Harold had haters. It must have been an organized harassment campaign from somewhere. I got defensive when people accused me of animal abuse, but I also felt an odd joy when new videos got dozens of replies in minutes, mostly puke emojis. I enjoyed, most of all, the reaction videos, thumbnails of strangers with their mouths agape and eyes wide in theoretical horror. Harold started to miss me, I guess. I heard scratching on my bedroom door at night, and a loud, mournful whimpering. I felt guilty for ignoring him, and I missed him too. All the attention from strangers online made me feel lonelier. One night, Harold stared at me from the hallway as I shut the door. I felt cruel as I slid the chain lock in place. I'd worked a double shift, so it was late, and I'd gone through the day like a ghost, barely speaking with my coworkers. I woke up shortly after to the sound of scratching and whimpering. It was cold. I must have forgotten to turn the heat on. Harold would be warm, and we'd warm each other. As I drew close to the door, I started to make out Harold's whimpering. Meh, bull. Meh, bull. Meh, bull. I unslid the chain lock, turned the knob, opened the door. That's a freaky looking. Through the crack, I saw Harold. I remembered Harold's fruit dish, the kibble mixed with steak cubes. I loved Harold so much. What people online didn't understand is I'd do anything to take care of him. Were you killing people? Oh my gosh. That's freaky. You know, what? Even with all that, I'd still adopt Harold. The same guard dog. It'd be a good dog, guard dog. Yeah, it's true. Didn't we order a pizza? Yeah, I did, I think. That was 2 hours ago. Whatever, more stories. Let's do... Deathbed confession. I used to volunteer at an old folks' home a few years back, before I wisened up to why you keep death behind church glass windows and don't sit with her at a lunch table. What? Talking smack about the girl with the bubblegum mouth, the shine of her lip gloss brighter than the damn day. I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. I was at one of those facilities with just crotchety old men milling around contraband pornography, a cornea in one beer in one hand, a story in the other. People didn't go there to pretend that the party went on forever. Lit up by a wine-gold sunset, everything sun-sweetened and perfect. They went there to die. Don't get me wrong, this wasn't a bad thing. The facility wasn't concrete and rusted metal, 3 square meals of who gives a fuck. If anything, it was the opposite. The director cared for the residents. Our training revolved around acts of palliative compassion, salaried or volunteer. She made us understand how to do right by our guests. Karba, she told me softly once, voice as drowning thick as molasses. It'll get you every time. In the section I was assigned, there were 5 old guys, 2 World War veterans, a traveling salesman who still had all of his own teeth, a burlesque coach, and this wizened rake of a man. He was 92. 95? No one knew for sure. And he was tall, legs so long his feet dangled from the foot of his bed. Thin too, his skin notched by the pattern of bone beneath the surface. He was dying of everything a man of his age could be dying of, but he clung on, nonetheless. The weeks melted to months. The diagnosis piled up. But he wouldn't die. One day, as I was changing his bedpan, his urine red and stinking of raspberries, I said to him, "You really don't want to go, huh?" And he looked at me and he whispered, "I am trying." "She won't let me." Something about his tone of voice. I left early. Fled, almost. It took a week and a call to my mom before I could be corralled back. I hadn't slept much those 7 days. Couldn't sleep, not without dreaming of his skin under my fingers. A palimpsest of scar tissue, prickled with moles, gross, whirled into the soft space between his joints. Cancers like fruit clustered under his ribs. So many it felt like a harvest. Ew. I couldn't stop thinking of how he smelled, that sweet, rotten raspberry stink. Couldn't stop worrying at the memory of his voice, that rasp, the way he looked at me, calm as a nun. "She won't let me," he said. Who wouldn't let him? The day I came back, I spent most of my shift doing everything else. Anything that kept me from going back to that room. But you can't keep running forever. So as the dusk blued at the corridors, I crept back down to where he laid in his alcove with paisley curtains, buried in those ugly handmade pillows. I walked into his room and I saw her, blacklit by the wolf light, tall. So tall that the bit of her hip pressed itself to the ceiling, so thin that the sunset made a script of her knees, her spine, columns and characters of bone, and her hair, like blood or raspberries, falling over the old man's face as she leaned down, a finger moving to rest on his lips. He watched her approach like a lover, full of a yearning that made me uncomfortable, like seeing your parents in passionate embrace. But I couldn't avert my eyes. I stared, dumbstruck, as the old man opened his mouth, and fingers of black fog reached out from his throat to spider around his jaw. Something was trying to pull itself free, struggling like a caterpillar tossed up in a web, grasping at teeth and chin, even the bridge of the old man's nose, anything it could reach for purchase. But the woman pushed it down with that finger, into the man's mouth, down until his throat accordioned and his neck let out a crack. She pushed down until her hand swallowed the wrist. Then she saw me. Headlight eyes, a mouth like a door. Please don't kill me, please don't kill me, and vanished. She won't let me die, the old man croaked, when the silence had worn itself into something familiar. So I helped. I guess you think this is a deathbed confession. I mean, the accident was bad. But the truth is that I just wanted you to know, just wanted to make sure you understood. This was because I felt bad for him. Nothing else. I can repeat the story, if you'd like, as many times as you want, whenever you want. She won't let me die, after all. Fricky! So the director was the ghost? What? No. Yeah, that was the intentional. Was it? I'm not sure. Your parents told you stories, right? Really bad ones. Right, the ones with lessons. So we wouldn't lose the remote, or whatever. Let's do one of those. Alright, so probably do one more story, and then I'm gonna end it. This game is definitely really interesting. I wish for some of them that the story would stay longer. I could read it all the way through, but this game's really awesome. Eat your peas, it'll get stuck that way. Ah, Moz rules. Let's do eat your peas. I like peas, so turn to your neighbor and read this one out loud. No one around? Maybe you should look closer. There was a kid who never ate their greens. Could be any kid, but let's call him Aiden. Aiden's moms tried everything at the supermarket. Carrots, zucchinis, avocados, but the kid wouldn't give them a chance. Every argument ended with vegetables at the bottom of the trash can. Until Aiden made a mistake of trying a spoonful of peas. They spit them out pronto, but that was enough. Mom had made some traction. From then on, it was peas with every meal. Turn to your neighbor here and look determined. Cross your arms. Whatever works. Eat your peas, Aiden. Eat your peas. Aiden couldn't catch a break. They started hiding peas in their shirt and dumping them in their bedroom closet. The peas didn't stop, but Mom's insistence did. Things calmed down. Until one night. While Aiden drifted off to sleep, they heard a low sound from the closet. Eat your peas. Aiden ran downstairs. Mom, she was still in bed, sound asleep. Must have been the wind. Aiden couldn't mention any of this to their mom, because they'd have to confess about the hidden closet peas. That night, Aiden heard the same sound coming from the closet. Eat your peas. This time, Aiden didn't run away. They slid out of bed and tiptoed to the closet. An unearthly green light shined from the space under the door. Aiden slowly pulled open the door. Now, open your eyes real wide and say this next part extra loud. Eat your peas. Or I'll eat you. Oh, freaky. God, this game's so much fun. Huh. I can't believe your mom thought that would work. It's a ridiculous story. I can still hear the whispering. Oh my god. I've never been so scared of a pea monster in my life. Hey, Aiden. I gotta get this off my chest. You know that word? Oh, okay, you love killed. Yeah, so that was the discussion we had earlier. But yes, this is The Silence Under Your Bed. This is really cool. This is really neat. I love this type of game. Kind of like a visual novel, but one of those where you get. I can still hear the eat your peas. This is tripping me out. It's freaking me out. What the hell? But yeah, this is really cool. I wish again that they would leave some more time when you're reading the story, but before it fades off and goes to the next one, especially that one story about the soda. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I really like this game. I really enjoyed playing it. I can see you just, there's so many options, so many, I don't even know how many stories I have going on here. But it's really fun. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will be playing with you guys again. Bye!